a win in my book, and we just need to get essentially the first couple of laps under our belt, and then we might be able to get this thing to the end. We're approaching shortly the 1/3 point of the race, and cars are running. We have lost Michael Cole, Damir Hott, Javier Ripoll Jr., Eric Wagner, Campbell Perrion. No surprises about any of those. Safety car will be in on this lap, by the way. The Ajith Kumar fans, I'm afraid to say that Ajith is also been shown as in the pits, as is Evgeny Leonov and Markus Neuhofer. So it looks as though it's going to be a not-start for Ajith Kumar, the driver who spent a bit of time upside down at the last round in Valencia. But don't be disheartened, because it doesn't look like anything too major on Ajith's car. So hopefully he'll be back out for the second race for the club division a little later on this afternoon, round 8 of the season. But he's clearly not going to be taking the restart of this one. So cars now out once again on a rolling lap. They're up at turn 8 at the moment, heading towards turn 9. And next time around, when they cross the line, the green flags will be flying. And Philip Wills just needs to keep doing what he's doing. His main championship rival, his only championship rival, is Angelo Fontana, who has, by a miracle, managed to work his way from 6th on the grid up to 2nd as a result of the carnage that we just saw. A very rapid driver is Angelo Fontana, so he certainly knows how to pedal one of these Porsches, but he needs more than just a win. He needs something to befall Philip Wills to drop him out of the top 6. And I have to say, though, anything can happen. Probably will, usually does, as the cars head up towards turn 12. And it will be a single file restart. Andre Fernandez will become the de facto safety car now that the real safety car has disappeared into the distance, and he will increase the speed. It looks like he's done that quite early. Yes, he has. So whereas we saw Ariel Levy in the previous race backing everybody up to the last minute, Andre Fernandez has done quite the opposite, and he's motored it around turns 12 and 13 to receive the green flag. We are racing once again with just under 20 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. Fontana in 2nd, Lee Mole in 3rd, but coming under pressure from championship leader Philip Wills. So Wills being the brave man, but just backing out of it. He needs to finish this race. He needs the points, but in so doing, leaves himself a little bit vulnerable to Lennart Heemstra through the tricky turns 1 and 2. Yes, we made it. Well, almost everybody's through now and in towards turn 3. So we've got a good chance of this one actually completing a lap. Here they come. There's Heemstra on the outside of Philip Wills. So Wills just tiptoeing carefully. He's got a much bigger picture in mind, and he doesn't want to throw it all away by ending up in a gravel trap. Now Heemstra has got Carsten Kramer almost pushing him around the corner, and that's going to keep him occupied. That might allow Philip Wills just to break free a little bit. Just ahead of him, Lee Mole breaking clear of this particular battle in 3rd place. It'd be great to see Lee Mole if he could finish on the podium. And Philip Wills just behind him, almost a rear gunner in this instance. Here comes 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. There we go. That's the first queue. Then we've got a gap back to Paula Macedo in 12th place. Again, the challenges come thick and fast. Carsten Kramer on Lennart Heemstra. Heemstra in the white and black car. Carsten Kramer just exploring the limits of adhesion with the back end of the car. He's got his teammate, the Tobias Vazquez Garcia, the very pretty black and gold car. We'll just point out that Carsten is the team boss. So Tobias probably not going to be trying too hard, although he does duck out of the draft, out along the pit straight. Is he going to put one over the boss? I think he is, of the team, that is, into turn 1. Very important that these two cars don't get together. But Cade Kramer racing into turn 1. Tobias Vazquez Garcia says, okay, let me have a go at Lennart Heemstra and see if I can do something about that position. Of course, that little swap of positions has allowed Lennart just to break clear a little bit. And Carsten Kramer now looking at the back end of his teammate's car, having surrendered that 6th place. At the front, Andre Fernandez very much in control with the fastest lap of the race. Angelo Fontana in second place, the championship challenger, the only championship challenger. Lee Mole in third place. Philip Wills with one hand on the trophy. Just got to do what he's doing, keep it together for the next 17 minutes and 10 seconds plus one lap. In the GT4 race, Patrick Kuhnhart in 10th place. David Von Rosen just behind him, though, in 11th place. So that's going to be one to keep an eye on. And that's David Harrison, a little excursion into the scenery, saying hello to the aforementioned squirrels. He rejoins. Doesn't look like he's got any damage just out onto the grass. Now Lee Mole coming under pressure for third place. So Philip Wills tried telling a racing driver to settle for fourth place. I don't think so. Lee Mole certainly feeling the pressure. Philip Wills would love to win his championship by finishing on the podium as well. But as I've mentioned numerous times before, he cannot afford to chuck this one in the gravel trap. So it's tiptoe, keep it all together. Don't do anything stupid. Here's our race leader across the line, 1.627 clear of Angelo Fontana. Here comes Philip Wills to the inside into turn one. Lee Mole cuts across in front, and a big moment for Philip Wills. His championship flashes before his eyes. Looks like he's managed to avoid any damage. It's allowed him to fall back into the clutches of Lennart Heemstra. That's exactly what Philip Wills needed not to be doing, and that was getting involved and potentially getting damaged. So looks like he's all okay. He's gathered it all up. But now in the clutches of fifth place Lennart Heemstra. If things finish as they are now, Philip Wills will be the champion with one race remaining. But he needs to hold it all together. He needs to keep it out the gravel. He needs to keep his head. Lee Mole is clearly not in the mood for giving up a podium position. He knows he's not in this championship hunt. He knows that the car behind him is. So he can afford to slam the door in the face. And that's exactly what he did. So Lee Mole with a bit of breathing room. Out we come towards turn 11. Some of the cars exploring the outer limits of track limits as we approach the halfway point of this race. So halfway, 15 minutes plus one lap remaining of this round 7 of an 8-round season. Porsche Sprint Challenge, Southern Europe Club Division. And Philip Wills, with a scary moment, regathers it all up in fourth place, has escaped without any damage. May well be having a long hard think before challenging Lee Mole, or maybe not. Is this payback time? Out along the pit straight, in towards turn 1. Surely not going to do it again, are we? Just showing himself in the mirrors. Lennart Heemstra has his mirrors full of Tobias Vasquez Garcia. And that's giving Philip Wills a little bit of breathing room. So if he does want to try and get one up on Lee Mole, this is going to be an opportunity. I'd say that into turns 1 and 2 has proven to be not always the best place. I mean, it is the best place because it's the best overtaking spot, but also the spot where we've seen so much controversy. Lennart Heemstra back on the back bumper of Philip Wills. So second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. That's no, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. There you go. Seconds up the road. There he is at the top of the screen. So this is the fight for third position, the last of the podium positions. And there are 4 cars challenging for that position. Lee Mole currently with the advantage, making sure he makes that Porsche as wide as he possibly can. Philip Wills having a think. How can he get past Lee Mole without incurring damage or ending up spinning or in a gravel trap? At the moment, Lennart Heemstra putting the pressure on. Tobias Vasquez Garcia, as was the case in Valencia, probably looking the quicker of the 4, looking like the driver who's most likely to upset a few people if he possibly can. He's another one who has nothing to lose. He's not in the championship hunt. I just noticed that the incident between Lee Mole and Philip Wills has been noted by our race steward. So they saw that incident into turn 1 and are just investigating it, and may decide that one or the other of the drivers was perhaps not playing entirely by the rule book. On board with Alexander Dobik in the number 33 car. Remember, he started right at the back. He's up to 12th place at the moment, so that's pretty good going. And here he is running alongside David von Rosen. You've got a Porsche GT3 car versus the GT4 car. So just in a straight drag race, there's nothing that von Rosen could do to fend off Alexander Dobic, who had to start from the pit lane after a troubled qualifying this morning. Right, the battle for third place rages on. Second is well clear. At the moment, Andre Fernandez with the fastest lap of the race, 1.396 clear of second. And there's a 4.9 second gap back to this fight that we're looking at here. So third is potentially as far as any of these drivers are going to go, but it is a trophy, it's a podium, and it's valuable points in Philip Wills' case. But he has a lot to lose if he gets it wrong. Here they come once again into turn 10, taken in second gear at about 85 kilometers an hour. And then this next sequence of corners in second gear. Now Philip Wills, a little look to the inside, but the inside becomes the outside. And in so doing, almost surrenders a position once again to Lennart Heemstra. This is really, really tricky for Philip Wills. Around turn 13 and 14 they come, up into fourth gear, then out onto the straight. They exit turn 14 at about 165 kilometers an hour. Then they pick up about another 100 kilometers an hour as they move up into sixth gear along the pit straight before the heavy braking into the second gear, 110 kilometer an hour corner. Again, to the inside, having a little look, and this time Lee Mole goes spinning. It's a replay of what we saw a few laps earlier. Philip Wills with his nose in, but Lee Mole trying to shut the door. This time Wills was not going to back out of it, and the 56 car is sent spinning. The stewards have already flagged that as something they're going to be having a look at. It's moved Philip Wills up into third place, Lennart Heemstra up into fourth place. Such a shame for Lee Mole. Was he being a little bit over defensive? Well, the stewards will make their decision on that one, but at the moment, subject to confirmation, Philip Wills up into third. Doesn't look as though he's picked up any damage, but winning this championship, doing it the hard way in terms of keeping us on the edge of our seats. He's into third place at the moment, so if the race finished now, the championship would go the way of Angelo Fontana. Third place is enough, and Lennart Heemstra getting it all wrong on the exit of the corner. Keeps it out of the wall, surrenders the place to Tobias Vazquez Garcia. But that was a big moment for Lennart Heemstra there. Bit of a tank slapper. I think that was out of turn 9. He gathered it all together, but that's allowed Garcia through. And Garcia might be perhaps a little bit more robust in trying to find a route past Philip Wills if he can catch him. We know that Garcia really doesn't tend to take many prisoners, and Philip Wills will not be pleased to see the black and gold car in his mirrors, and he'll want to break clear. In the meantime, Angelo Fontana, with the fastest lap, has closed down our race leader, Andre Fernandez, to 0.783. Now, I mentioned this earlier on in qualifying this morning. Tyre preservation is everything. And if the drivers have taken too much out of the tyres, either in qualifying or in the race, they may well be vulnerable at the end. It might be that Andre Fernandez has just had a difficult lap. Well, his last lap was his best lap. So he doesn't look to have had any issues on the previous lap, but it could be that he might be having issues with grip, or it might be that he's just looking after the car to bring it home. But 0.783 is not exactly a comfortable margin over first and second place. Philip Wills is all the way 9.008 seconds back in that third place. At the back, that is Karsten Kramer, and he has Jan Jaap van Room, who we heard from in the pit lane earlier. This is the fight for sixth place. 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Let's have a look at the GT4. Still, Patrick Cunha leads the way in 11th overall. David von Rosen just behind him in 12th place overall. So by my calculations, if things finish as they are now, we will be crowning 2 champions at the end of this race, both the AM champion and the GT4 champion. Make that 3, because it will be the overall championship as well that will be decided. But we've still got 7 3/4 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race before anything can be declared. not to mention anything that might be coming from the race stewards. Angelo Fontana continuing with the fastest laps of the race, continuing to close in on our race leader, Andre Fernandez. So, in towards turn one, that is Karsten Kramer with Jan van Room for company. Here's Alexander Dobic. He's caught up with Lee Mole, but Lee Mole did have that little moment. So, good driving from Alexander Dobic up into 9th place from the very back, just keeping out of trouble, picking them off one by one. He moves past Lee Mole. Fernandez, 0.496 at the front, 6 3/4 minutes remaining. Is Angelo Fontana going to make a final dash for points? It won't be enough, because if Philip Wills finishes in 3rd, and even if Tobias Vasquez Garcia gets past him, he will still be crowned the champion with 1 race remaining. On board with Alexander Dobic, just picking off the cars one by one. The Hadeka racing car in the resplendent yellow and black livery. You can spot that one on a dark night, can't you? Picking his way through. Ahead of him, Corrado Costa. Great to welcome him back. Now, Evgeny Leonov. On all that's been going on, I thought we'd actually lost him from the race, but he's been shown up as the fastest driver. So Evgeny Leonov, who's 6 laps down, is the fastest man on the track. So he clearly had rejoined while we were looking the other way after that opening incident, just showing everybody what might have been had he not got together with Michael Cole on that opening corner. Still with Alexander Dobic, Corrado Costa in 8th place, just ahead of him. Corrado Costa extracting everything he can out of the track limits. And Alexander Dobic just picking his moment. Will he have an opportunity? Picking up a slipstream out along the pit straight in towards turn 1. Is he going to duck out of the draft to the inside into turn 1? Yes, he is. Is he going to make it stick? Yes, he is. So to the inside now. Costa, though, coming back around the outside. It takes my breath away every time we see them on that corner. It is a tricky corner. Dobic losing the back end slightly into turn 2. You get the feeling the tyres on that car might be crying enough. Right, this is for the lead. 5 minutes remaining of round 7. Andre Fernandez has a problem. That problem is Angelo Fontana, who fancies a race win. He's in 2nd place, and now he is up with the race leader. They're up to turn 10 at the moment. It was 4/10 last time. Well, it's not 4/10 now. You can see the gap. I would say that's probably a couple of tenths at best between 1st and 2nd. So Fontana making a last charge with 4.5 minutes remaining of this race to try and get to the front. Angelo Fontana, who has just 1 race this year, that was at Estoril back in the early February. Would love to make it a 2nd win. Andre Fernandez has 2 wins so far this season, 1 in Estoril and 1 in Valencia. Wants to make it 3, but now half a second is the gap, so maybe the gap opened up a little bit in the latter stages of that lap. But Angelo Fontana looking the quicker of the 2. Into turn 1 we come. Philip Wills, a distant 3rd place. He'll be happy with that because he's broken clear of Tobias Vasquez Garcia. But this is for the race lead. Through 1 and 2 we come. Can Angelo Fontana, the driver who had to come back through the pack in both races, last time out in Valencia from the very back, doing it again here, coming through the order. There is Michael McInerney and David Harrison. They're running together. That's for 13th place. Right, here we go for the lead. A little gap on the inside. Philip Wills, we're pleased he's not too close to this battle, because if they get together, he does not want to be involved in it. 3.25 minutes plus 1 lap. This is for the lead. Andre Fernandez, Angelo Fontana, just throwing everything that he's got to try and take this championship to the last race of the season. Championship elect in the background. Philip Wills in 3rd place. Less than 3 minutes remaining plus 1 lap. In towards turn 10 they come. Under braking into the 2nd gear corner, about 85 kilometers an hour. Then this tricky section, all done in 2nd gear until they get to turn 13. Then it's up to 3rd gear, then into 4th for turn 14. And then it's full beans along the straight. And it may be at that point that Angelo Fontana will fancy picking up a slipstream from the 917 car in front of him and making a move to take the lead of this race. Into 14 they come and out onto the pit straight. So is Fontana going to make a challenge? Here they come. Is he close enough? Up the hill they come towards turn 1. They'll disappear over the other side. Then downhill into turn 1 they come, under braking. Fontana perhaps just a little bit too far back. He's made up a 10th on the lead in the last lap, but that's not enough to get in front. 2 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race. Andre Fernandez, who started on pole position, he kept his head, he kept it all together while everybody was scrapping behind. He wants to turn that pole position into another race win, his 3rd race win of the season. Angelo Fontana wants to steal away his dreams, trying everything that he can. Into turn 5 they come. Once again, Fontana starting to run out of time. Still in the background, Philip Wills on the eve of what could be a championship win. But up ahead of him, the fight still continues. 90 seconds plus 1 lap remaining of this race. Once the clock strikes 0, the cars will have 1 additional lap added to the race. Angelo Fontana will know that time is running out. Towards turn 10 they come. So it's going to be a couple more laps remaining of this race. He's going to start running out of time. He needs to make the move, but he's closer now than he's been at any other point in the race. Around turn 10 they come, in towards turn 11, getting a good exit out of turn 14 will be important, but will he have to wait that long? Fernandez just losing the back end of the car slightly. He holds it together, but the gap appears once again on the inside into turn 13. Now into 14 we come, out onto the pit straight. So the clock at 37, 36, 35 seconds. Here we come towards turn 1. 2 laps remaining of this race over the brow of the hill. Under braking into turn 1. Will Fontana take a look to the inside, to the outside? He does neither. Into turn 1. He's too far back. He's taken another 10th of a second out of the lead of Andre Fernandez, but he's still not close enough to make a move. The clock now running down into the final few seconds. It will be what remains of this lap, then one more before the checkered flag of this race, the penultimate round of the season for Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe 2025 Club Division. Andre Fernandez has led every lap of this race. He continues to do so. He needs to just carry on doing what he's doing for another lap and a half, and it will be his 3rd win of the season. Fontana running out of ideas, running out of time, but still very much in the running. In the background, Philip Wills must be thinking about a championship. Tobias Vasquez Garcia has not come with the challenge that we were expecting. There is Philip Wills in 3rd place. There is 4th place Garcia. Behind them, a long way back, Lennart Himstra in 5th place. Meanwhile, in the GT4, Patrick Kuhnhaar continues to lead David von Rosen. So he is also on the eve of his championship win. Here comes Andre Fernandez once again into turn 13. You can see that the tyres on the back of that Porsche are starting to run out of grip. Angelo Fontana really has only one more real opportunity. It's going to be the exit of turn 14 into turn 1. Is it going to be a dive bomb? Is he going to launch everything at it? Or is he going to settle for 2nd place? Out across the start-finish line they come once again for the last second. A 5-second time penalty has been awarded to Andre Fernandez for exceeding track limits. Car 917 has received a 5-second time penalty, which means he realistically cannot win this race. A 5-second time penalty awarded to Andre Fernandez, our race leader, for exceeding track limits. And this means that Angelo Fontana does not need to do anything dramatic to get past. He just needs to stay where he is, and he will take the win, because our race leader, Andre Fernandez, is going to get relegated. There is the 223 car of David von Rosen moving past the cars in front of him is David Harrison, and there's been a big impact. That's Corrado Costa, who's had a big moment out on the pit straight. The car is stranded. We're going to probably get lots of yellow flags waving here. Fontana is past Andre Fernandez. He was going to win it anyway, but Fernandez going wide across the curb. The car briefly getting airborne. Our new race leader is going to be Angelo Fontana. There is going to be a lot of yellow flags waving because we've got a car stricken out on the pit straight. But they're into the final lap of the race, the final few corners. Into turn 11 comes Angelo Fontana. The yellow flags are waving up at turn 14. Andre Fernandez was never going to win this one with the 5-second time penalty applied. It is going to be Angelo Fontana who comes out towards turn 14 for the very last time, and he will see the checkered flag race high in front of him. It's going to be a win for Angelo Fontana past the Corrado Costa car. It is out from the wall, but it's a win for Angelo Fontana. Andre Fernandez comes next, and it's going to be a championship for Philip Wills. Third place is all he needed to do. It will be a championship in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe Club Division for Philip Wills as he crosses the line in that third place. Tobias Vasquez Garcia in fourth. Then we wait for Lennart Hiemstra, Karsten Kramer, Jan-Jaap van Room, Alexander Domic, Lee Mole, then David Harrison. But we're going to wait for Patrick Koenhart across the line to see whether he can clinch the GT4 championship as well. He's still out around turn 11 at the moment, heading into turn 12 and then into turn 13. And we will have a champion in GT4 as well, succeeding Graham King as the champion of GT4. There's David Ron Rosen in the 223 car. He was not able to catch up with Patrick Koenhart in the treble 8 car. He will cross the line in that 11th place, and that will be enough to secure a GT4 championship victory on board with David Von Rosen. He did everything that he could, but he's not going to be able to catch Patrick Koenhart. Out across the line we come, and Koenhart finishing in 11th place. And brilliant driving from him to win the GT4 championship as well. David Von Rosen did everything that he could, but it was going to be a 15th place and a third in category. Casper Hockebom getting past David Von Rosen in the closing stages. So that gives the GT4 championship to Patrick Koenhart as well. So all the championships decided with one race remaining. It's going to be an AM championship for Philip Wills. It's going to be a GT4 championship for Patrick Koenhart and an overall championship for Philip Wills. The race win going to Angelo Fontana. Second across the line, Andre Fernandez, but will have 5 seconds applied. But that will make no difference because Philip Wills was 8.999 behind. So Fernandez will stay in second. Wills in third, the new champion ahead of Tobias Vasquez Garcia. Lennart Hiemstra in 5th place ahead of Karsten Kramer. Jan-Jaap van Room in 7th ahead of Alexander Domic from the back. Lee Mole was in the wars but brought it home in 9th place ahead of David Harrison. And Patrick Koenhart, your new GT4 champion, in 11th place ahead of Michael McInerney, Ernst Inderbitzin and Casper Hockebom rounding out the top 14. In 15th place, David Von Rosen gave it all that he could ahead of Paolo Macedo and Corrado Costa showing in 18th, but of course with that big crash. There is Philip Wills, the relief. He's finally done it. He can call himself a champion in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe Club Division. And there is Christoph Huber, who is one of the absolute key people in Proton Huber competition, who congratulates him. Of course, Philip Wills racing for Proton Huber competition, receiving the congratulations. And a shout out to Christoph Huber, who does a fantastic job along with Christian Reed for Proton Huber competition. And they prepare those cars. And there for S1, Angelo Fontana. It was a lively race. Surviving was part of it. But he got to the end to take his second win of the season. The driver from Venezuela working hard, and he nibbled away at Andre Fernandez. Fernandez, by my calculations, despite the 5-second time penalty, will keep his second place because he had that gap over Philip Wills. Brilliant. I can see that Piers is down there. I hope you enjoyed that one, Piers. I certainly did.
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Brian, for keeping us up to date with what was going on. Of course, the team's just spoken to Christoph Huber. They don't want to celebrate for Philip Wills just yet because you never know what can happen afterwards, of course, with Andre Fernandez's penalty looming over as well. But I'll grab a word with Philip anyway. Philip, come on in. Third place on the road. Andre, we believe, has a time penalty. I don't think you'll inherit that position due to the time, but still, it's a tough race out there. You had to work for that one.
Yes. For the first, to avoid all the cars, it was very lucky that I was. Because I was just in between them, and I thought they are pretty aggressive in the front, so I will keep it a little bit slower in the first corner to see that and everything happened before me, so I could just pass between them. And I touched left and right cars, and I thought, oh my God, is the radiator still okay? And then after the restart, and it was very difficult to pass Limo because I was always closing the door. So I passed them on a special way, but I'm pretty happy that, okay, I made it to the finish line now with all these crashes what happened. So
of course, the cars in one piece.
Important for me to finish now in this weekend and maybe for the next race to enjoy.
Yes, Philip, we'll catch up with you later, I'm sure, because you're still favourite for the championship. Let's grab a word with our race winner, Angelo Fontana. Angelo's over here, so if I'll try and grab his attention. Angelo, come on in. Be great to hear from you once again, of course, Angelo. Great drive from yourself. You pushed.
Yeah, I pushed.
And it worked.
Yeah, I pushed till the end, and finally P1 after Valencia's. You know what happened? I really wanted to arrive first again, you know.
And you did. Great pace. You closed the gap from nearly 2 seconds right down onto Andre's tail. And talk us about the move where you took the lead.
Yeah, he made a mistake definitely, and I took the chance. I knew that he was penalized anyway, but he opened the doors, and you know, I took it.
Angelo, congratulations. I see you've got the team flag there.
Team flag, Estonia.
Congrats. Team S1, of course, from Estonia, and our second place driver, Andre Fernandez. Andre, can we have a quick word? Quick word, Andre. So close. So close.
Yeah, the last lap, you know, it's racing, but he touched me behind. I started losing my grip with tires, started losing the back, and you know, then he touched me in the back, and then it's race.
Still got one more race to come later on.
Let's see if I can win this one.
Absolutely, and I'll grab a quick word with Patrick Kuna, who I believe is our provisional champion as well in GT4. I'll just wait for him to finish it. Patrick, again in Portuguese if you prefer, I believe you're provisional champion.
É verdade, somos campeões europeus, estamos muito felizes. Foi uma corrida que no início com muitos toques e arrancamos atrás de safety car. Eu queria ganhar um bocado de distância ao segundo para manter o primeiro lugar, foi aquilo que eu fiz. Comecei a andar nas 4, 5 primeiras voltas a tentar fazer os melhores tempos para ganhar um bocado de distância. A partir daí foi só gerir e guardar os pneus para a segunda corrida, como não vamos meter novos e tentar, agora já somos campeões, acabar a corrida.
Patrick, congratulations.
Obrigado.
Obrigado, exactly. Right, well, I'll let Brian take us through some of the memorable moments from that round number 7 of the club division while we get ourselves ready for the podium.
Thank you, Piers. Yes, we'll call them champions-elect. They mathematically have won their championships. Of course, it is all subject to confirmation because the stewards will be investigating any potential incidents. The cars also have to pass technical scrutineering as well. We have seen it this year. We saw it with Angelo Fontana getting disqualified from quali the last time out in Valencia as a result of the car failing technical inspection. So we say champions-elect, Philip Wills and Patrick Cunha, and they've done all that they can do now, and it will be good because it means that the next race, the final race of the season, it really is gloves off. It really is just fighting for glory, fighting for the silverware, and that's always very exciting to see. And like we need any more excitement here to this circuit, particularly into turns 1 and 2. And it was turns 1 and 2 where it all kicked off. Evgeny Leonov to the inside of Michael Cole, the two cars getting together and then scattering. Javier Ripoll Jr. certainly getting a lot of damage out of that. A number of other cars going spinning as well, and that brought out the eventual red flag that meant that we had a long delay. But when we did get going, Philip Wills and Lee Mole, and Wills would have seen his championship passing by him in slow motion. There's Lennart Heemstra and Carsten Kramer and David Harrison had a little field trip there, went out and spoke to some of the bunnies. This is Philip Wills once again with Lee Mole, the two cars making contact. A big moment. Well, this is what Philip Wills, I think he referred to as his special overtaking manoeuvre in the end, because he felt as though Lee Mole was perhaps being a little bit overly defensive. There was a great battle for the lead, though, wasn't there? Andre Fernandez with Angelo Fontana. A battle that raged on. We got the notification towards the end of the race that Fernandez, with the back end sliding, was going to pick up a 5-second time penalty. So he tried to hold on, though. He wanted to cross the line first, didn't he? Jan-Jaap van Room was fighting with Carsten Kramer for position, and at the end of the race, Corrado Costa looked like a big impact with the wall. Such a shame, because we've really enjoyed having Corrado here, but it looks as though maybe his day has come to a premature end. This was the challenge for the lead. Fernandez closed the door as much as he dare, but Fontana had the grip and had the line through. David Von Rosen was fighting with Michael McInerney, and we had a GT3 versus GT4 there. Lots and lots of drama. The drama on the pit straight being indicated by the yellow flags. It was a win for Angelo Fontana, having got past Andre Fernandez. Fernandez with such a big gap over Philip Wills in third place, it meant that the 5-second time penalty counted for nothing. Great to see the team, including the team bosses, congratulating the new champion-elect Philip Wills. And what a dramatic race it was. And if you enjoyed that, well, we get to it all again a little bit later. We've got 2 more races left for you today. 2 more races left for you this season in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. A season that has flown past and has been thoroughly entertaining. It was a season that kicked off in Portimao with Evgeny Leonov taking a win from pole position. And Philip Wills showed his intention by winning the second race of that particular weekend. Andre Fernandez also showing his intentions by taking a win in round 3. The fighting continued, and it's come all the way down to this, but Philip Wills and Angelo Fontana were the only 2 mathematically in the equation coming into today's racing. And Philip Wills mathematically has done all that he needs to do to win this championship, and has the engraver on standby to put his name on the trophy that was won by Robert Solmer last year, and Graham King, who won a GT4 last year. Piers is down on the podium, and he's ready to bring us the podium ceremony. Over to you, Piers.
Thank you very much. The podium ceremony now, starting with the AM classification. Our championship leader, and potentially favourite for the championship, the number 912 from Belgium, Philip Wills. Philip joined by a young future champion as well. Philip drives for the Proton Huber competition team. Second place, the number 917 from Portugal, Andre Fernandez. And our eventual winner, the number 80 from Venezuela, Angelo Fontana. Angelo driving for the S1 racing team. High fives all round, and we will now have the Portuguese national anthem. Congratulations to Angelo. My mistake, it's not the Portuguese, it was the Venezuelan national anthem for Venezuela. Third place trophy, Philip Wills from Jose Luis Santa Maria, the director of the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. Third place trophy, Philip Wills. Second place trophy will be handed to Mikkel Dreisen from the director of sales for Porsche Motorsport. Second place, Andre Fernandez. And Jose Luis Santa Maria will present the winning trophy to Angelo Fontana for S1 Racing from Venezuela. A brilliant drive, and the S1 Racing team whooping and hollering. We'll now have all three on the podium, along with Jose Luis Santamaria and Michael Dreisen on the podium for the photos. And any photo opportunities down from the grid as well. Good job, everyone. Congratulations to our podium drivers in the AM classification. Next up, we will be having the GT4s, which has been hotly contested. Next up will be GT4, and it was competitive in that one. We saw, of course, in the red flag, David Von Rosen only a couple of places behind Patrick Kuna. And of course, those GT4 cars racing amongst the GT3 Cup car machinery. Separate classification. And it will be in third position. The number 222 from Germany, David Von Rosen. David Von Rosen, everybody. Third place in GT4, driving for the Neuhofer Rennsport team. In second, from the Netherlands, it was Casper Hoggeboom. Congratulations, Casper, driving for Team GP Elite. But in the end, it was from Portugal, Patrick Kuna. Congratulations, Patrick, and he is provisional champion in the GT4 classification. He also races for Veloso Motorsport, and we will now have the Portuguese national anthem. Congratulations to our top three in the GT4 classification. Michael Dreisen will be presenting the third place trophy to David Von Rosen, Director of Sales at Porsche Motorsport. Second place trophy being handed to Casper Hochbaum by Jose Luis Santamaria, Director of the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. And the winning trophy, Michael Dreisen will present to Patrick Kuna, our champion for Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe in 2025. Great job from all three of these drivers. Everyone on the top step of the podium now for the photo opportunities. To remember this moment, eye line down to the gantry down there, and a final round of applause to our GT4 classification. Congratulations, all three of you. We'll be seeing you very, very shortly for the final round of the season, round number 8. But very, very shortly, we have the final round of the season of the Sport Division, and that's coming up right now.